Welcome back, everybody. Well, as you may know, quitting a job can be awkward. In fact, it's awkward for most people around the world. However, it seems like the Japanese might have a larger aversion to parting ways than maybe the average person in other countries. It is highly stressful, and even if the job is just killing them, they still tend to stick it out and stay there for many, many years over the amount that they, I guess what we might say they should. Yeah, maybe they should quit a little bit sooner. This is mostly due to the sort of resignation culture. When you do turn in the resignation, it is a bit formal. I feel like in America, it's a more like word of mouth than it is a formal piece of paper.
You gotta like put in your 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's a bit more like that. But in Japan, it is a little bit more formal. It's 1 month, and it's almost like a request rather than something you're telling the boss. So when the boss rejects, you feel this great pressure to not leave. Because of this, through innovation, outside of the box thinking, a company popped up that said, you know what, everybody? Don't worry about your resignation. We'll do it for you. And not only the resignation, we will make sure you have the cards that you can give to all your coworkers. We will make sure to do the 1 month. We'll make sure to tutor you on how to quit properly in case the boss is a little crazy and keeps calling you. They give you the full service, the full package. They make sure to tie up all the loose ends.
They'll even kind of line up another job for you too. In certain situations.
Exactly.
So you have something to jump right into.
When people don't do that, it stresses me. I have never quit a job without having another one right there.
But I think that's another like American thing.
Yeah.
We're always like, we can't quit until we have something because who knows, like it's terrifying.
Yeah. Like what if you break a leg and have to spend $30,000?
Yeah.
Anyways, so they do it all for you. It's become quite popular and people are using it. And even though the bosses are trying to reject these proxy resignation letters, by law, they cannot. And so this company knows it. Who knows the future of Japanese law when it comes to this? But as of now, the company is riding pretty high.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it really
creative.
is. Yeah. So we're both Americans. We can add our 2 cents to this, but would you call American working culture old school?
Well, it's not a one size fits all in America. There's different levels of companies, and they run differently. They offer different things. So some companies are very old school. I worked at very old school companies, and I worked at companies that acted like they weren't old school, but once you're there, you find out they actually are old school. So it's a wide range of things. Has that been your experience too?
Yeah, I mean, in America, I worked more service jobs, so I guess I could consider them old school in the way that they follow a lot of the service traditions.
Sure.
But they are all innovating. For example, I worked at a very famous coffee company, and they're always innovating to try new ways to service people and provide that. So yeah, I guess in my experience, it hasn't been much experience, so I don't know. But among my friends, yes, it is just case by case. It just depends on who your boss is sometimes. Maybe the company is progressive or old school, but your boss is old school, or progressive, and it just depends.
I think that's it's hard to define American work culture in one term or in one idea. Because it varies so much.
It does. And I think you'll find that as a theme in many things in America is it does vary a lot. I mean, from city to city, state to state, place to place, even person to person, it can vary so much that it's hard to put a blanket sort of statement over America.
Definitely.
Except that I believe every city has at least one Japanese restaurant in it.
You think
even
so?
The smallest.
Definitely Chinese.
Definitely Chinese.
Maybe Japanese too, but
Maybe Japanese
definitely
too.
Chinese.
And a bar, at least, and a church.
Church, bar, Chinese restaurant.
Your trifecta of what you can label in America as everywhere. Let's go ahead and jump down to that vocabulary, and maybe we can also use that vocabulary everywhere we go. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Proxy.
Proxy.
Old school.
Old school.
Hang in there.
Hang in there.
Aversion.
Aversion.
Tie up loose ends.
Tie up loose ends.